So today we have a significant correction in the market for precious metals. And I was watching a video from one of my favorite economists. And I was reading through the comments to see how excited people are about buying on this dip. And I see a remark that one of the subscribers was disheartened because he had been anticipating this correction, and he did some math, and he needed silver to correct about 8% in order to afford this 100-ounce silver bar. And he had watched silver correct 6% and then 7%, and didn't quite hit his target. And I'm thinking to myself, the reason he wanted to buy a 100-ounce silver bar was because he lives in a state that charges you sales tax until you buy $1,000 worth of silver in one go. And I guess the 100-ounce silver bar is pretty much the lowest premium thing you can get at that level. So that's what he was shooting for. And now he was within 1% of affording it. And I made a suggestion to him. He probably thought it was a joke, but it was a serious suggestion. I said, well, why don't you go on a 24 or 48 hour intermittent fast? Take the money you save from not eating, and then go buy that 100-ounce silver bar. We're talking about 1% out of a 100-ounce silver bar, right? About $20 or $30, right? Most people spend that much money on food within a few days, right? Just go on a fast. Or I didn't know his family situation, but maybe encourage your spouse to also go on an intermittent fast with you, right? It's a lot easier if you have a buddy system where people aren't offering each other food, right? And then both of you would save enough, even on a 24-hour fast, to make up that shortfall, right? And within 10 minutes of posting that, I get a lot of flack from other subscribers saying how dangerous it was. Are you crazy? You know, we're talking about silver. Why are you delving into the health benefits of fasting and all that? Just very close-minded. And I think this is a reason why the COVID-19 pandemic has been so much more messier than it has to be. People get very close-minded. They can't go to the bar. All of a sudden, they're worthless people, right? I remember a funny story earlier in the pandemic about how there were shortages of this brand of cereal. I can't remember which brand it was. And people were going on Amazon and eBay and paying $100, $200, $300 a box for a box of cereal when there was plenty of food around, right? Most people during the pandemic were having too much to eat and gaining too much weight, right? There was a joke that the 19 in COVID-19 meant you gained 19 pounds, right? There's plenty enough to eat. And yet, people still needed to bid $300 for a box of cereal. What's really funny was that the cereal manufacturer really liked how crazy some people were, and they decided to refund some of the consumers who overpaid for their cereal, reimburse them, which is really crazy because it reminds me of how maybe a drug dealer might give some kickback to their most loyal customers, right? That kind of reminded me of that, right? It wasn't they liked the cereal. They were addicted to the mindset of having that cereal to the exclusion of everything else enjoyable out there, right? And during the pandemic, I made the mistake early on, right? I obviously this past year, I haven't been able to go to my favorite vacation destination, which is Gdansk Bay, Poland. See, I could have snuck out there and maybe risk getting in trouble, or instead of doing that, I could have enjoyed other destinations like the Rocky Mountains, like Phoenix, Arizona, where I am right now, right? Which one which camp would you rather be in? Let me just ask you that. See, I feel sorry for the people who paid $300 for a box of cereal, but not because they wasted $300. No, I'm not sorry for that. I feel sorry for them that they didn't go out to enjoy all the other spoils of life out there, right? And not just food, right? Anyway, right now, as I'm recording, there's a huge labor shortage because apparently, two reasons, I think. People are still scared of catching, maybe not COVID-19 anymore because they think they're vaccinated, they're protected against that. They're worried about a hypothetical COVID-21 maybe, or whatever virus is lurking out there that we don't know about yet. And number two, they're getting paid by the government to not work, right? They're probably getting paid more, right? And so people are scared to death about giving up those benefits. And so I'd rather enjoy something new, right? Even if I have to sacrifice in order to work, it's a new experience, especially with all the competition out of the way, right? Anyways, that's what happens when you get narrow-minded, right? You forget about all the great lessons that are out there, right? In the typical YouTube comment section, there's plenty of lessons to be learned if you don't get yourself closed-minded and boxed in to this mentality, I gotta do this and I gotta do it that way, right? A lot of people have that kind of mentality, and I think it really hindered our progress this past year and a half.